Alright, what's good YouTube? It's your boy Johnny Finesse. Welcome back to the channel, and today we got the Tesla bot. They making bots for Tesla, like human-sized bots. That shit is crazy. Robots is about to take over the world. I'm just joking, but if you're new to the channel and haven't subbed yet, hit that sub button. We on the road to 1,000 subscribers, y'all. And with that too, I'm also doing a giveaway. Yes, it's my first giveaway. I'll probably explain it in the video before or the video after. Either way, I'm starting a giveaway. When I reach 1,000 subs, I'm giving away $100. So all you gotta do is subscribe. I'm gonna get the notification when you subscribe. So when you subscribe, I'm putting all that in a ballot. I'm gonna use one of those things that they have on the internet, and we're gonna keep it fair and clean. So all you gotta do is hit that sub button. I'm gonna get that email notification that I got your sub, and then we're gonna tally it up and we're gonna give it out. And all the people that already have subscribed already are already in the ballot. So if you didn't hit that sub yet, hit that sub button. When we get to 1,000, we're gonna give away 100 to one of you guys, one of you viewers, one of the subscribers to my channel. With that being said, let's get into it. Oh, I forgot to plug in the I forgot to plug in the headphones. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Tesla just announced a whole human-sized, human-shaped, sentient robot. This is not a drill. This is a thing that really just happened.
Like Detroit. Like, you ever played the game Detroit? That's what's about to happen in like 20 years, bro.
Things come to mind when hearing that. So let's get into it. Now, the two things that
that's why crypto is getting crazy. Like, all like entrepreneurship has to go crazy, because if you don't do no entrepreneurship, you're gonna lose your job eventually to a robot, and then you're asked out.
Mind when hearing that, like me, are number one, why Tesla of all companies, and number two, why a robot human of all things? Because
Tesla has a rich ass man that does whatever he wants to do. Like, he's a billionaire, he could do whatever he wants to do. So if whatever comes to his mind, he could say, yo, like, I have a whole creation center in Tesla. I make smart cars. Why not do something with that? When you got money, you could do whatever you want to do, man. Like, that's just the world.
But
like,
if you frame it a certain way, it actually can make a lot of sense, but you got to break a few things down first to get there. So let's get there. So Tesla is a car company, mostly. You know, I've reviewed their cars. We've seen their announcements.
It's a smart car.
Factories. Maybe we'll call it a vehicle company. They have a truck. They have a bunch of other stuff. But they have a factory that...
They made this big-ass truck that looks crazy, and it's still not even out yet.
So they're a car company, but only like by that specific definition. It's actually pretty common to look at Tesla as a software company.
That's how I see them.
Just because there's software advantage, and all the things that they do with the software in their cars is so important to them. It's like they're a software company that happens to make electric cars.
They care about it.
And so when you compare to
they care about their product
of the world or the Audis of the world,
they care about their product in terms of technology wise. Like Tesla is more focused on technology more than Benz, Beamer, all that stuff. Like, they take pride in that. Like, this is a whole tech car.
BMWs. I would never describe those companies as software companies.
Yeah, they automotive
companies. For Tesla, that's where their main advantage is. And so part of this software thing that they're doing,
the way that Benz and Beamer like get they prestigious is that if they win races, Tesla's not going in them races because they don't have engines. So if you're not in that shit, you gotta be smart.
Self-driving project.
Okay? Yeah, you gotta
now,
be
aside from all the massive missed time windows and over-optimistic promises and deadlines and things like that, their self-driving is currently, as it is today, some of the most advanced in the world. And it's not because of high-resolution mapping or predetermined routes. It's because Teslas are using their sensors, or mostly cameras at this point, and constantly scanning their environments and making thousands of little on-the-fly decisions in real time. And then all of the miles driven with this autopilot in action is used to upload the data back to their server.
It just gets better.
And train the whole rest of the fleet. So it's this whole system is a constantly self-improving thing.
The more you use it, the better it gets.
The faster it can continue to get better. So this requires a lot of computing, a lot of horsepower, to be frank, and a lot of smart code. And that's what Tesla's been really good at. So Tesla had their AI day a couple days ago. You might not have heard about it, but they do this every year. They live stream a bunch of talks from Tesla engineers about computer vision and how their neural networks have evolved over time. and explaining their focus on making autonomous cars that rely on computer vision and their
Wow.
synthetic visual cortex. It's really great. Lots of informative, complex stuff. And at this year's, they
Wow,
unveiled their new custom.
look how far is like, look how far is it like scanning? It's scanning all the way there, like right there, like where that car is right there. It can see it. That's crazy.
It's really great.
That's mad
Lots
far.
of
That's good as
informative,
hell.
complex stuff. And at this year's, they unveiled their new custom D1 chip, which is this chip that's designed and built entirely in-house by a car company, which is specifically made to train Tesla's full self-driving algorithms based on driving footage even faster. And they're basically going to be replacing all of their GPUs they're currently using to make this supercomputer designed to do computer vision machine learning. It's big stuff. And so at some point during all of this, Elon's on stage talking, and he says something about to the effect of, Tesla is basically a robotics company.
Tesla is arguably the world's biggest robotics company because our cars are like semi-sentient robots on wheels.
And if you think about it, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I could see that. I mean, obviously Tesla builds cars, so we'll call them a car company still, but like, if it's Tesla's AI day and they're giving a presentation and they're trying to make as good of a show as possible for recruiting purposes, they're going to call it robots. So they happen to make robots that are on wheels. But yeah, that's how you can get it to make sense mentally. It's like, all right, yeah, self-driving cars is just one application of AI and computer vision and robotics.
The simple
just
one.
Just to solve that problem. So that's what's happening. It's a bunch of sensors scanning its environment and making a bunch of decisions based on that, and then training future versions of it based on what happens. That's just what's happening in self-driving cars. So that I can see making sense. Then Elon, right afterward, said this.
It kind of makes sense to put that onto a humanoid form.
He says it makes sense to make these robots in a humanoid form. And that is where I disagree. So this is the newly unveiled Tesla robot. It's called Teslabot.
Teslabot.
It's a 5'8", 125-pound, sleek-looking, like black and white, human-shaped robot with this face mask with a screen on it. It's got hands with, full 10 fingers. It's got feet, but with no toes. It's pretty slow. It has a max speed of 5 miles per hour so that you can outrun it. And then it can lift things up to 10 pounds with the arms extended.
So you can outrun it. That got it. That got it for that just in case, man. 5'8" is already taller than most niggas. 125, little dude. That's a little guy.
Or can deadlift 150. Lots of cameras and actuators, and of course the full self-driving computer inside. So they're saying it's going to be easy to overpower or run away from, so that should never be a concern. But the main purpose...
That's what they said, but the computers, as you said before, the computers get smarter and smarter over time. The more you use it, the smarter it gets.
Keep
that in mind,
Teslabot, the thing that they kept saying over and over again on stage during the presentation and during Q&As when they were asked about it, they kept defaulting to, it will be able to do tasks that are repetitive, dangerous, or boring, so that humans don't have to. And so if you buy Tesla as a robotics company, then yeah, this makes sense. It's just another robot that will use the sensors to scan its environment and make a bunch of decisions and navigate around this world that it's in. But the thing that I have to say, and this is going to come with the caveat that I'm of course not a robotics engineer, I'm not an expert at this, but here's my take. The human form is very inefficient. Now don't get me wrong, humans, we're pretty great, right? We're a very accomplished species. And we're very complex and we've done a lot of things well, but they work as a body so well because number one, our brains are amazing, but number two, because we've built this world around us that we live in mostly with ergonomics designed for humans. But when it's not designed for humans, like this upright bipedal thing that's balancing all the time, it's not very efficient. We just did a RetroTech episode about this, about humanoid robots. So I'll link it below if you haven't already watched it. It's a super fun one. But we did a lot of talking with people and experts about this. And it turns out if you want to make a robot to take over a task, you typically don't want to build it like a human. You want to build it for a single task and make it as efficient as possible at that one task. So pop culture forever has been obsessed with humanoid robots. Like, I can't even count all the instances of humanoid-shaped robots in movies and TV shows over the years that we found. It's something we've been fascinated with since the beginning of time. There's endless versions of it. But it turns out the ideal way to make a robot vacuum the floor for you is not to build a human-sized shaped robot that pushes around a vacuum.
But that little shit.
It's to make the robot the vacuum. The vacuum is the robot. You don't want a humanoid robot standing at the sink washing dishes for you. The dishwasher is the robot. Like, that's the single purpose-built robot. Tesla knows this. You don't have a humanoid-shaped robot sitting in your car driving the car for you. The car is the robot. The self-driving car that drives itself has already been done. So the list of things you would want a human-shaped robot for is pretty small, because labor is typically not designed around the human form. The one example they kept giving over and over in their AI Day presentation was grocery shopping. So they, you walk to the grocery store, you grab a cart or a basket, and you pick out some items and put them in the basket. I guess that's, you need a bunch of different peripherals and things to pull that off, and maybe a human-shaped robot would be fine for that. But there's not a whole lot else I can think of. Like, even when I picture the most simple, boring tasks, like making a bed or building a table, like, when I picture a robot that would be especially good at that, I don't picture a human-shaped one. I picture one that's super focused and super efficient.
Right.
Maybe I'm just short-sighted. But I remember when I talked with Elon at the factory a couple years ago about all the things that they do with robots versus the couple of things left that they still do with humans, he had a really interesting answer.
So some parts of it are like 80 to 90% automated, and then some parts of it are like only 10 to 20% automated.
What are those parts that humans do better than?
Humans are really good at adaptation.
What is it?
And rapid evolution, and like doing like little finicky things.
Are you making
like,
the car
like
down
that.
there, or why you putting me down
it's
there
like
for?
Trying to connect a hose that's like sort of dangling around.
I see.
And then you like the robot's like gotta find the hose, grab it, like then connect it to another hose.
At that point,
It's like really hard.
Yeah.
Or, like a person can just go, oh, done.
gotcha.
Why are they
Yeah.
making the cars
That
down
makes a
there?
lot of sense.
Yeah, and
Okay.
it's like when you see it, it's like, wow, it's super obvious.
Word.
And then we try to have robots do this, and it's like robots like grabbing the wrong thing and like trying to stick it over here, and then like, oh, the hose was here when the robot thought it was here, and so
Yeah.
now it like tries to grab air and then like smashes into the car.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
It was a comedy of errors, tragedy of errors.
So yeah, all that really made me think. Like, with as good as Tesla is with self-driving, why would you want a human-shaped robot to try to do things that humans are already good at? How long is it going to take for that robot to actually get good at things that humans are good at? And you know what? The best way to answer that would probably be to look at the most advanced robotics company that I can think of at the moment, which is Boston Dynamics. So
Yeah.
there's
Boston got
two
it.
very different
Boston got it.
types of
He just made it like he's made a competitor to Boston. You know what I'm saying? Boston Dynamics. He literally just made a competitor. Like the Boston got the robot dogs and shit like that. They got the humans.
humanoid robots that I've seen exist in this world. On one end, it's like the dumb single-purpose thing you see at CES. Like, these are the barely functional robots you see that can really do only a few things decently well. They're kind of cheesy looking. They're human-shaped for no reason, but they exist. And then on the other end of the spectrum, there's Boston Dynamics Atlas. And man, I wish when I was out there I could have seen Atlas in person, because just the dog Spot is already impressive enough. Like, it's got the sensors, it has a basic level understanding, scanning its environment, and it can be programmed to do dangerous or boring or repetitive things and go places that humans wouldn't go. And we say dog because they've called it Spot, and it's kind of looks like a dog if you make it behave the right way sometimes, but really it's just a quadruped any four-legged animal would do. But Atlas, on the other hand, well, I haven't necessarily seen it do anything specifically useful yet.
UPS
but
stuff.
Seeing that
UPS stuff.
5-foot human-shaped robot navigate the world.
I'm never gonna see my shit packaged late ever again, bro. Ever. And niggas be taking mad long complaining about the job. Nigga, you chose this job.
In
Fuck outta
crazy
here.
ways. is
This is my
something
package
else.
at.
I mean, I did share a new video of it
Where my package
doing
at, huh?
parkour, and Elon seemed very impressed. But even after all
He said impressive. I'm not gonna lie. I'm about to. He said I want parts in this action. Like
these years of
billionaire
development and the
stuff.
history of how much we've seen it get better, Atlas is not a robot that's going to be on sale for people to buy
Hell no.
anytime soon. And if you ask
It's
them
gonna be
about
for
it,
companies.
they'll tell you it's just them experimenting with their computing in a new form factor. And so at the end of the day, my take, Teslabot probably won't exist anytime soon either. You know, I know they said
Obviously.
on stage there would be a prototype
Obviously, the Tesla truck is not even out yet. The Cybertruck is not even out yet. Like,
next year. I kind of doubt that they're gonna leapfrog Boston Dynamics in the next 2 years. But then here's the other thing:
you
even if
never know.
do
They
come
got
out
bread.
with it, Tesla right now is training their self-driving computers with billions and billions of miles of
Exactly.
self-driving happening on
Exactly.
the streets.
They're getting
today,
their data,
right? So
like-
the best way to get as much data
It's through experience. Everything that like the best way to grow is through experience, and Tesla's getting that through their cars.
about
Like,
that as possible is to have it go out in the real world and do it. It's kind of genius, actually, that they're making so many cars and people are really using it for them. But now they're going to be asking for a humanoid robot to go out and navigate the entire rest of the real world, where there's an order of magnitude more stuff to identify and react to. Like, I mean, on the streets, there's obviously other cars and trucks and buses, and it can identify motorcycles and bicycles and pedestrians even. And then there's traffic cones and there's lights and all the rest of the traffic control devices, construction zones, arrows on the road. You're kind of starting to run out. That's almost it. But how well is the Teslabot going to do when you ask it to go get bananas from the grocery store? Like, really? Like, how good
Nah,
can
no
it
funny
get? Or
shit.
if you ask it, hey, Teslabot, go grab my AirPods Max from downstairs. Is it going to be able to know that that's headphones, or is it going to have a model of every new pair of headphones that ever comes out to be able to identify which one you're talking about?
Like to connect
and
on some
all of this
Bluetooth shit?
training, that's, you can see where I'm coming from. All this training has to come from real world
experience.
data, which I guess would have to come from
Experience.
people using Teslabots in
Simple.
their homes and starting to get this going, which seems a little less likely to me than people getting a self-driving car. And then there's just a whole bunch of other unknowns about this robot too. What other colors will it come in? Will it come in matte black? How does it charge? Will it just sit on a USB port in the corner of a room every day? I don't know. Will this ever even go on sale? And I don't know if it's really even about this robot going on sale as much as it is just about, honestly, it could really just
It's
be
just
Tesla
Elon just having fun.
exploring their...
It's just Elon having fun. You seen that shit? He said that shit is fire, and it said I want my own type of shit. Like literally, I want my own type of shit.
Computer
I got the
vision
bread for it.
in
I'm making the
another
bread
form
for it.
factor, just
The
like Boston
technology, the
Dynamics.
technology that I have can have the ability to make it. I'm doing it. Why not? I'm a billionaire.
Dynamics.
Fuck you
It's
talking
just about Tesla becoming the best AI and computer vision company that they possibly can, and this being just one more avenue to get better at it. So there's no good reason I can think of for a humanoid robot to exist out there in people's hands anyway. But hey, makes a lot of good headlines. It's obviously something we've been fascinated with forever and will continue to be for a long time. And it could just be one more form factor that Tesla's exploring. And also, when have they ever said no to a good free PR opportunity? So
Facts,
anyway,
like, why
that's
not?
about my thoughts
Why
on it.
not?
I'm super curious what you guys think. If you have any thoughts on, would you want something like this in your own home? Do you think the robot will exist? I'm sure the comment section will be fun.
Nah, I'm afraid of that shit. I ain't gonna lie. Ever since that Detroit, the Detroit become human type shit, I'm not jacking that. I'm not jacking it.
This one. Either way, thanks for watching.
I'm not jacking it.
Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not jacking the robot stuff. Like, I'd rather just have a certain object do a certain thing very, very well instead of a bot that can do stuff like as good as me. Probably not worse, probably worse or better, but it gets better over time. Like, that's OD. But if you made it to the end of the video, you obviously like the video. So hit that sub button. 1,000 subscriber giveaway is activated, so hit the sub button. Make sure y'all hit that bell notifications too for a chance to win $100. It's your boy Johnny Finesse, and I'ma holla at y'all. I appreciate every single person that has stayed this long. I love each and every one of y'all. With that being said, it's your boy Johnny.